Welcome, everyone, to Season 2, Episode 5 of the Cosmere Reads. Gotta harass Will. I see you saying chat. Yeah, it's just Will's no Will tonight.
This guy goes off and decides to have a kid. How dare he?
How dare he? No, the baby's not born, by the way. In case
no.
That's
not
not
all these like commitments and stuff now. What's that all about?
I know. Yeah, it's crazy. Craziness.
No, we completely understand. You know I do out of love, dude. I harass you out of love.
He has a lot of stuff going on with baby showers and stuff.
Commitments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're gonna wing it, figure it out on our own. Here I go again on my own. Yeah. So how are you doing tonight, Alonzo?
I am well. I cannot complain. I built a home gym, and the great thing is that I do my bike workout on Thursdays, listening to these chapters. So I do my endurance workout. So it's like I love it. It's like a bonus. It's like, okay, well, if I'm gonna have to do a workout, at least not be bored.
Yeah.
Boom! I listen to chapters, and works out perfectly, man. It's like literally my workout. And at the speed I listen to, my workout ends right when the chapters we have to read ends. Almost every single time. Love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Let's see. 7-Eleven said, listening last week, Serene has ADHD. Yeah, I can see it.
Man, I've seen some great videos in the last week. I'm glad you brought that up, Simon. Is that all this stuff about how to really understand what an ADHD mind is like. And now it's like, I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to that alignment and understanding. And what you said,
yeah,
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it now. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I've been diagnosed. I have ADHD. So I just fake it really well because I use Excel spreadsheets for everything.
because it's hard for you to just stay focused on the one thing. And and then I hear, reading these stories and listen to these like YouTube videos of people who've taken medication and like, oh, are you serious that you can just instantly stay focused on a project for like a prolonged period of time and not get distracted? I'm like they're thinking like nobody does that. I'm like, yeah, we all are able to do that. Generally. So again, I have a new appreciation for it. So
yeah. It is what it is. It's tough. I mean, I stay focused on things because I force myself to. I've developed tricks over the years, not from medication. I mean, I used to, when I was in high school, I took medication for it.
Yeah.
And even through college. But then once I got into the real world, I say real world, out of educational world, I stopped taking medication and just developed tricks, I guess you could say. Tricks, if you want to call it that. I don't know. Methods. And it's not perfect. So it only works on things like if I can create a system for it.
Yeah.
And it forces me. And really it turns it into like turning into like almost like a game. And then I can do it for hours. I can focus on like games for hours. It's like certain things I can focus on for hours.
Right.
But if it's like mundane stuff, it's really tough.
Well, I mean, now that we're into like, mental wellness check and discussions and stuff, I mean, for anybody, and I guess this is gonna probably like blow people's minds, especially if you've met me and you see me out and about and I hobnob and whatever. I have suffered from terrible depression my entire life.
Sure.
And you develop tricks, you cover it, you do all this stuff so that way it's like you don't see these deficiencies I have. And I understand what you're saying. It's like you come up with things so that way you kind of get around it. And like I've done everything I can to avoid medication. I've never taken medication for my depression.
Right.
And you just figure something out. And it's like you figure out what works for you, and what works for you may not work for everybody else.
Yeah.
But the thing I would say to everybody out there, if you're struggling with something, talk to a licensed professional. Yeah. Don't even hesitate. I mean, do not delay. I mean, the way it can change your life is crazy.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Our secret power is hyperfocus. Yes. ADHD people can hyperfocus.
Oh my gosh. Yes, they can. Oh my. Which is the reason I thought that I might have ADHD, because my wife has said when I get on a project and I like super crazy hyperfocus, but it's just my way of making sure I get things done. I don't like
Yeah.
clean things. So
yeah, the problem is you can get hyper focused, but if something comes up, it can easily derail you as well. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that happen before, where like, yeah, procrastination is a real thing. It's like there's a stand-up comedian that did that once, and he doesn't have a lot of good jokes, but there's one, I can't remember the name of the stand-up comedian, but he had like a pie chart. And it was just a blank circle.
Uh-huh.
And said, "This is a pie chart of my procrastination." And it's just a circle. Nothing filled out.
Oh no. That's terrible. I mean, it's a great analogy.
Yeah. Procrastination. Oh yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah, and that's and things have been crazy with kids and everything recently, so I've been all over the place. And I mean, the kids are great. We're getting to the summer season, so there's so many activities and so much stuff going on. It's sailing season too, so I'm racing sailboats. Last weekend I was out racing sailboats. Last night I went out and raced sailboats.
How'd you do in your race last weekend, by the way?
It was okay. We got 4th overall out of 8, so top half.
Hey,
there's 8 in our class. There is probably over 100 boats there, but they break it into different classes depending on the speed of boats.
Okay, gotcha.
So we were in the 2nd division.
Okay.
There's one division that was the super fast boats that were like, they call it the super class, but it's just their stupid, expensive, crazy.
Of course. Yeah. It's like F1 racing against a Honda Civic, right? It's like, you can't.
Those guys are ridiculous how fast those boats go. It's just not even. So they try to pair up boats that are similar in speed to each other, because everybody has different types of boats. So everybody's handicaps too. So you have to owe people time and things like that. So just because you cross the finish line first doesn't mean you win.
Right.
It's there's a whole method to it, and there's a lot of debate of whether or not it's fair and so forth and so on.
Well, you don't want to make it where like people can just throw money at it and automatically win, right?
It's not. So if you like buy modifications, that affects your handicap, because it goes into the equation. The problem is that, like, depending on the angle of the wind for sailing, some boats are designed to go faster on certain angles to the wind. So if you get a race where your angles are right, you win every time. But if the angles are wrong, you can perform your best in a boat that's designed to sail optimal at that angle. It's so hard to handicap properly if it's not one design. So like one design boats, everyone has the same exact kind of boat, and that's just but not everybody buys the exact same kind. There are some one design fleets that they have locally, but yeah, for the most part, you're racing against boats that are similar to yours. But yeah, some are designed to sail better in different conditions. Yeah, some are designed to be better light wind boats or heavier boats or sail at different angles to the wind. And yeah, so it just depends. If we get the right conditions, we kick ass.
Cool.
But yeah, these were all windward leewards, which our boat's not the best for those. So it's just going straight up, straight back, upwind, downwind, just up and back. Versus like doing like a distance race where you might be sailing at different angles for long periods of time. Those can be more beneficial for us. But yeah, it all depends. It was fun. Had a good time nonetheless. Yeah. And I think we, as a crew, it's the 2nd year this crew's been working together. So the team that won it, they've been sailing. That boat's been racing since 1987, the same boat, same owners. I mean, they have a different crew over the years, but their core crew has been together for 20 years.
Are the owners actually participating like on the boat physically? Like, are they part of the crew?
Yeah, I mean, they I think one of the owners drives.
Okay, good.
But yeah,
well, I'm just saying, I would really be pissed if you told me like, oh, they like sit on like the dock and just like watch.
I've sailed boats like that before.
I know that's BS to me.
Where the owner doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm like, screw that noise.
They have lots of money. They throw money.
I know. At that point in time, though, it's like, well, now you're basically like watching your help drive the boat. I'm like,
they give us beer and sandwiches, so it's we're paying.
You're not helping that story at all.
I'm not. They give us a really, really cool boat to sail on. Oh, that's what they give us. But it's
I can see the guy right now. Jeeves, give them their beer and sandwich. Oh, will do, my lord. Here comes the beer and sandwich.
We had some like serious guy on our boat Friday, and he like turned to me because I cracked him a beer between races. He's like, "We're sober boat until after we're done racing for the day." And I looked at him and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "You're not the." He wasn't the owner, so I just looked at him and I was like, "Crack!" And I just literally just opened the beer in front of him. I was like, "I don't care what you say."
One time I went golfing in a foursome, and one of the guys was like a teetotaler, and I was like, "You are making golfing boring."
Well, they were. Yeah,
right
both of them were. They're both teetotalers. So like they didn't drink at all. Both completely sober. Like, yeah, we don't drink on the boat. You know, the whole crew needs to stay sober for racing. I'm like, nah.
And I'm not knocking teetotalers. I mean, especially if you have like a propensity towards like addiction or something, then obviously I'm not going to try to push you into that.
Oh, sure. No.
But I mean, don't like make it like your like mission in life to make everybody else the same thing. I mean, hell, you give me a Mick Ultra. That's basically like water to me. I'm not. It's basically just the effect of just effervescence on my tongue. I'm not going to get drunk off of that.
Have you ever been a vegan before? Vegans. Sorry to our vegan listeners. I see you, and I've heard from you.
The closest I've ever gotten is
I like pork. I like pork belly. So sorry.
I've been a pescatarian, and I did that for about 5 years.
Yeah,
that's about the closest I've ever gotten to anything. I could not go vegetarian.
I like meat.
It's not the fact it's not so much as I
it's
need
healthy.
The meat,
Yeah,
it was really the fact that I need protein.
Yeah,
I mean, I work out. I actually try to work on my muscular, structure, and I'm like, I need protein, and I know there's other ways to get it. Blah 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 blah. But it just doesn't beat like just having some chicken.
Our pork belly sandwich,
pork belly sandwich.
Get the little bow, the steam buns, the pork belly.
Oh my god! Okay, now the bow, dude.
Pork belly bow.
You were speaking my language right now.
With some like fresh cut radishes in there, and like maybe some pickled radishes. And
my wife had not had bao, I think, ever, and I took her to a little it was like a fresh market, a farmer's market kind of thing, and they were making them like fresh, and she had one. She's like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Yeah,
so good."
Oh man, I wish I could make them myself, but I'm not good at it. Yeah, I need to learn.
Yeah, I never tried to make it myself.
Yeah.
Rabbits eat squirrels. Squirrels eat squirrels. Yeah. No, squirrels do eat squirrels. There was a dead squirrel.
Eat anything because they're opportunistic. I've seen a squirrel eat a bird. Squirrels are just like, oh, you know what? You're here. I'm hungry. This is about to happen.
Yeah, I saw a dead roadkill squirrel on the road on the way taking my son to school, and there was a squirrel on the road eating the dead squirrel on the road. I was like, this is fun.
Yep. Believe it. It happened.
Anyways, moving on. You guys ready to talk about Cosmere?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about Cosmere for a bit.
Let's go.
Talk about Elantris. We're not going to really talk about the overall Cosmere, really.
Oh, you can. Feel free.
We can. There's not really anything in these chapters that really gets into it that much, but sure.
All I keep thinking about is when is the reference to the rest of the Cosmere, whoever this person is. I get the impression this is a person that shows up in all the books, and I'm like,
there is 2 people that show up in all the books.
Okay, so like I'm trying to keep an eye out.
One is not really named, so it's like one of those things. It's like you have to like really research and go. Like after you're done, you go back and start learning these things.
Got it. All right.
But yeah. So chapter 14, Serene. She's with Queen Eshin and the embroidery group. And they're talking about clutching pearls about fencing.
Yeah, they're like in the knitting circle. And she's like, "What? I hear girls will fight themselves in front of the men to entertain them." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And she's like, "Oh, it's fencing. And it's got a little bead on the end of it." And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Oh, Lord have mercy."
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. Clutch pearls is exactly what these chicks are doing. Oh, gosh.
You fight?
Really? Oh, to death? And she's like, "No, I just told you whatever."
Yeah. It's like, it's a fun sport. I can teach you guys how to play. It's it's called fencing. It's normal, and I actually enjoy it quite a lot.
That's right. She said you could teach them.
Yeah.
That blew all the wigs back.
Yeah. Do you think her being a blade master, if you will, might come into handy later?
Oh, of course I did. I mean, no, I had no qualms about it. Like, okay, so she knows how to fence and fence well. I was like, okay, that's coming into play later.
Sure.
I'm not sure how, but
right.
we'll see.
Ash reports to Serene that there's a scouting expedition to Elantris, and also about the palace dungeons. So it gets a little report from her Sion.
Right.
Next
I don't remember her sending him out on the mission. Did that happen?
I don't know if
explicitly
if he just did it on his own.
Okay, I've chalked it up to one of those in between chapter mission things that we weren't told about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I guess the later half of this chapter, Serene accompanies Hrathen to a party at Duke Telleri's residence. Yeah, so I mean, Serene's noble rank allows her access to a lot of these things, and attended by King Iodon himself and a bunch of high-ranking nobles from Airline, and along with Hrathen himself too.
Right, which she looks at and finds out that he's been there for a bit, and she's like, "Wait a minute, he's making the circuits more than I am. That means he's got a clear advantage over me." That's all she can think about.
I need to up my game.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh no, he's like working those inroads, and I've been out here, on the outskirts."
Right.
Yeah, I like the fact though she went with old boy, and he was like, "Yeah, I got the honeys hollering at me all the time because, I'm single."
Yeah. She talks to Sudan also about history talk of Kasig and Shu Karath and Shu Dureth and all the different religions and the parent religions and how the different denominations, and it's all the same religion, but there's different denominations. It's like different denominations.
Right.
How they all
like offshoots, essentially. Yeah.
Right. We eventually learn about other religions that aren't really related. We don't really learn. We hear their names. We don't know what they believe. We just know. And the religions in this book are really kept vague too. Like, can you tell me right now, like, what Shu Dureth believes in?
Don't care. And I feel the same way about to talk about religions in, of course, we did Mistborn.
Yeah.
It comes up quite a bit. And I get it. It fleshes out the world. Right. But at the end of the day, I didn't really commit any of that stuff to memory because I was like, I mean, it's subjective, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting that they all have their religions, but then actually, especially in Mistborn, their gods are present. So
right. Really present. Like they're like making themselves like crazily known.
Right.
Yeah, but in this, I'm like, well, now it's about I'm thinking when it comes to the angle of religion for this book, all I think about is the zealots. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Who are the zealots? Who are the people who are going to take it to an extreme? That's all I need to know.
Delof.
Yeah.
Hrathen also expressed a concern over Hrathen and Lord Wayland. And of course, Duke Royale's there too. It's like, I agree. Serene tells the king about the fencing request, the queen's request for fencing.
Right.
And Ida's like, I don't care, just do everyone.
He says that now, but I think when it comes time, to execute, I think he's gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
I think he's kind of blowing it off right now.
Yeah.
He's like, she won't follow through, whatever.
Yeah. And then the king gets a message. She tries to eavesdrop in, but Hrathen spoils that.
Yeah, that was an interesting little play because she was creeping up and she was like, hey, and then he was like, are you really going to have this conversation in front of the underlings or whatever he says? And he's like, oh yeah, we should have the conversation now. He like pulls her away. And she's like, damn it. She's like, you're figuring out all the angles now. So
I ain't dropping no eaves, sir.
I ain't been dropping no eaves.
Serene's just kind of working the room. She's meeting with many people as possible, trying just to learn more about the political and social scene.
Right. and put her face out there. I mean, just make sure she continues to have her presence known, because she knows she's working at a deficit now against, I keep want to say Raoden, and that's not his name. Oh my gosh, the priest, Hrathen. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. And then the final scene, she returns back to the palace and finds out that there's been intruders and there's more guards, and like,
right. So now we get the nice little like
crossover from
the previous chapter, and I was like, oh, okay, so this was actually happening. In parallel with that.
Yeah. But they're gone now, so nothing to worry about. And we've upped our guard level, so we're good.
What I was waiting I thought something like really bad was going to happen, or they were going to say something bad was going to happen, was to lady's husband who had his sword stolen.
Mm-hmm.
I was like waiting for them to say, oh yeah, this guy, he's going to be fired, and kid's going to be like, thrown in jail, and all this. I didn't know, and I was like nervous. I was like, please don't reprimand him, but luckily they did not. Well, they didn't say anything about it yet.
They didn't say anything about it. It was unmentioned.
Yeah, but we'll see. But I was like really nervous about him being reprimanded, because I mean, here it is, someone's trying to just spend time with their child and husband, and might have possibly gotten them like really set up for trouble doing so. So
yeah, cool. And that's kind of in this chapter. Nothing really else happened here. Anything else? Any thoughts from Serene's time?
No, it's just I feel like her days of playing the distressed damsel, or the like nitwit, side character in these circles is coming quickly to an end. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think anybody's buying it anymore. They're like, nah.
Yeah, we get to the next chapter too. Like, it's flat out called out.
But I thought that at the end of this chapter, I was like, you can't be in these circles and then quip and debate and joust intellectually, and then still go out and try to bat a pretty eye and think that's really going to hold up. People are going to be like, no, now we're all guarded around you, because we know there's a lot more intelligence there.
Sure.
So
definitely. So yeah, chapter 15.
Yep.
Hrathen's point of view. So Hrathen strolls along the Elantris wall. So now we're back over by Elantris.
Right.
And he feels like, maybe is pity the right word? For the Elantrians.
I didn't get that feeling.
Yeah, even though he's planning to exploit them to unite Airlane, I think he's definitely has a moral compass that is different than Deloff.
Oh no, Deloff is like, that guy is off of. He's off the edge. He's off that cliff. But I didn't get it to that extent as much as I think he was just being pensive about the situation. But I didn't really get the impression that like he was going to like let it get in the way.
Right.
He's got a mission. So
and his whole thing is he wants to do this diplomatically without as little bloodshed as possible, without trying not to avoid what happened to Duodel.
Right.
Where it was massive bloodshed, and now it's just everyone died. And and he even talks about in this chapter, we learn that there's like assassin monks amongst their orders.
Assassin monks.
Like Shaolin monks. That, super kung fu.
Yeah, Wu-Tang.
Yeah. But yeah, we learn about that as well, and learn that he actually trained to be him as well for a little bit.
Right. This guy's got history.
Yeah. Hrathen also meets with Telleri, who is having second thoughts about the Fjorden alliance.
I like the fact he came up in a really poorly set up cloak and disguise, because it was not a cloak, whatever, it's like a hood and whatever. But he was like, if you're trying to go incognito, he was like, it's too fancy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds like something like a lord or something would do, like trying to be like, oh, they'll never notice me and my Prada cape, something like that.
I still to this day, my favorite disguise, if you want to call it that. Ready?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to show it to you.
Go ahead.
Clark Kent, Superman.
Hey. Where did Alan go? Oh, he's back. Okay, there he is. Yes. Oh, wait. You got to do the little curly hair right in the middle of the forehead. I mean, the guy is still built like a freaking bus. And it's like, he's all trying to act all meek, like, oh, hey, Lois, how you?
It's the worst disguise.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot better ones. At least Batman covers his face. It's a little better.
But he's still like a tall dude with the broad shoulders and the physique. I mean, even that would be kind of hard to pull off. And I mean, of course, the only thing that helps is if he's a billionaire playboy, then sure he's gonna like keep his body in shape and blah blah blah. So yeah, you could see somebody like Stan Chisel for that. But the Superman though, with Clark Kent being a reporter. Yeah. And then you put him next to Jimmy Olsen? Get out of here. No one's buying that story. Please.
All right. Yeah. And until Reese, comes up, and I guess his whole thing is he's heard rumors about the disaster with the Duodel Republic, and it's like, I don't know if I want to have this alliance.
And he also plays his hand that he is a lot smarter than you think he is too. Right. Because he's divulging all the facts he's done picked up. Right. And what do I always have problems remembering his name? Hrathen. I don't know why it's the H. I think is always like throwing me off. It's like Hrathen.
It's just, the H is silent. It's like Django. The D is silent.
So that's the problem. Is now I've seen it written in text. And I really wish I hadn't done that because it's better when I was just audio. I was like, that's so Raven, right? Yeah. It was like, no problem. Now I've seen it and I'm like, oh Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the way, still to this day, that my favorite Halloween costume I think I ever saw was Jango Fett, but it was
Enchained.
It was a black, no, like Jango Fett from Star Wars,
right?
But it was a black guy wearing like a blue, like frilly, and then the Mandalorian helmet. So I was like, Jango. It's like Jango with a D, Fett. So it's kind of a crossover between the two characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to Django Unchained because I could see that one. Like if you could did like Django from that movie.
Yeah.
Was it Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's great. It's a good movie. I enjoyed Django. Any Tarantino movie is always good. They're fun.
There's one I don't like. I can't remember which one it is. Oh my gosh. I mean, the last one's okay. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I haven't seen that one.
It's okay, but man, he really likes
Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction. I mean, all those are good. Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, I know the one I don't like. It was only, but he only directed a portion of it. Is the four rooms. Yeah,
you don't like the lighter thing, like like the lighter.
Of course, Kill Bill and Kill Bill 2 is like those are like
classic
masterpieces to me. I'm like,
I know. Inglourious Bastards is still one of my favorite.
That one's so good. Yeah, man. I mean, the fact that everyone to this day remembers 3, I mean, just because of him like doing this like 3 beers, and that dude looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, I know the other one I didn't like so much. It was the I don't know if he directed it. It was the one with the where they're in the woods, in the cabin. Someone's gonna remember this, and I don't remember the name of the movie. Oh, and it's Samuel Jackson. Oh my gosh,
Tarantino.
Yeah. Well, I thought Tarantino directed it.
Could have been Robert Rodriguez. There's also a lot of movies that he wrote, like that he didn't actually direct, but he wrote the movie. Especially early, like old, like 80s movies, like True Romance.
The Hateful Eight.
Okay, I never saw
The Hateful Eight isn't as good, and that's the only one where I was like, it's kind of a miss. It's not bad, but
was it True Romance from it was in the 80s? Young Christopher Walken, and It wasn't directed by Tarantino, but it was written by him.
Right. No. I think Hateful Eight is by Tarantino, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah. And that one was like, it was good, but it wasn't like the best. So
right. Yeah.
But that was the one I was thinking of. And Four Rooms is that's one where I was like,
4 different directors. So
right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like what's the one with it's Grindhouse and
Kill? It's the one with the car, the Death Trap or something like that, or
Death.
Is it Death?
Okay,
yeah. But yes, Grindhouse and it's the Devil's
Grindhouse and the other one.
This is him and Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, right? Yeah, who he loves to partner with. So,
yeah. Anyway, now we digress.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Tarantino cast.
Yeah, welcome to the Tarantino cast. Talk all about Tarantino movies now. So let's talk about Mel Brooks some and
Death Proof. Thank you. Death Proof.
Thank you. That's what it was. That's
Appreciate you.
Death Box, Death Proof. Yes. It was about a car. I knew that. That's why I was like Death Yeah. So let's go. Let's see. So, and then they talk about, and Hrathen says, I mean, he doesn't necessarily agree with what happened in Duodel either, and that, we could conquer Erelon tomorrow if we wanted to, but a peaceful approach is preferred.
Right.
At that point, and he also pledges to put Teleri on the throne. And Teleri is like, ooh.
Yeah, that's
bribes. I'll take that.
Yeah, but believing that is tenuous at best. Yeah, I wouldn't take that risk.
Yeah.
I mean,
and this is when Teleri also warns that, like, you're doing all this stuff for a peaceful approach, but you got problems. And the biggest one's that girl over there. And he's like, yeah, I know. And he's like, yeah, she plays that part, but and Wraith's like, I know she's not dumb.
And that's the thing, though. So it's like, it's so obvious now. And so, I mean, and of course they all talk amongst each other.
Oh, sure.
So there's no way this little act is going on, which means that the act she plays in front of the king is the same thing.
But he buys it. Because I don't.
I don't.
I don't know if he's smart.
I think
he's so aloof. He's not necessarily that dumb. I think he's just so he doesn't pay attention.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying, he's so disconnected from reality. Yeah. Well, the reality of the people around him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think he's a dumb person. He's just he's focused on other things and could care less about the things like, this girl in his court.
Sure.
He's not paying attention.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and Hrathen dismisses the concerns about Serene, and even thinks about if maybe he could turn her to an ally versus an opponent. Like, even thinks about that. Like, maybe I can try to win her over.
Right.
And then also Hrathen finds out about the Elantrians who enter the city, and bribes the guard captain to secretly bring the next Elantris intruder to his office instead of back to Elantris.
Yeah, I wonder who is that going to be and how is that going to work out?
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, that's that. That's right. It's a short chapter.
Yeah.
Most of the Hrathen chapters right now are pretty short.
Yeah, they do seem to be shorter. It's always like a Serene.
Yeah, Serene's long
and then like a Raoden, or vice versa, vice versa.
No, it's called Serene and Hrathen's Raoden. Serene and Hrathen. It's
okay.
The same order.
Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of been the cadence. Yeah. Oh, and did we talk about? No, it comes up in the next chapter where it's like the flashback. Okay.
Yeah. Which flashback?
He has a flashback to when he was growing up, and he wanted to let his Aeon go.
Yes.
And that whole thing and the way that they work. And I'm like, okay, that was interesting. So anyway, I thought for a second we had missed something with Serene's Aeon, but it wasn't her Aeon. It was Raoden having a flashback to his Aeon when he was okay. Anyway, so sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
That's good. I'm ready for chapter 16 if you are.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And we start with that. I mean, Raoden's reflecting back to his relationship with Ayin. and observes, makes an observation to Galadon that his Aeon's damaged and incomplete now. You can see that the actual symbol is not quite right anymore, and that's where he has a little flashback of it to
when he was trying to let it go. He was trying to say, "Oh, this is basically slavery, and I want to do the right thing. You're free," and it's like, I'm free now. I just decided to be here. Yeah. It's like I get joy out of this.
Right. Like, what do you think Scions are? I mean, we asked this in the beginning.
So it's getting more and more complex. This is definitely not. I mean, this isn't as simple as like, because at first I was like, oh well, maybe it's like a, and I had never, proffered this theory on the podcast. I was thinking, well, maybe it's like a dead relative, and they come back.
Yeah,
is something.
Yeah.
But I was like, but then that would be kind of obvious. Yeah. And then, I'm like, is it a part of their soul or something? Because the fact that his Scion is still like kind of bouncing around in Elantris where he's at generally. Right. But they don't really make it clear though that happens with all the other Scions who are like kind of detached. So I'm curious about that. I'm still crazy curious as to like, what is it about the change that severs the connection between them? So, I mean, because obviously the people are the same. We find that out chapters before, and even more in this chapter. Whoever you were on the outside, there's still a part of that in you. So your soul, I know that was talked about earlier that you've lost your soul and you're just like some mindless, but you're not really mindless. You really still have your soul. You're still the same person. You just don't need like the food and some other things you can't heal, but you're still the same thing.
Sure.
It's not a magic thing because you didn't need magic before to own an Aeon or to have a connection with it. So I'm still trying to figure out what is severing the connection. And the only thing I can think of is the physical. And I'm like, I wonder if something about the skin is preventing some type of radiation connection. I got nothing right now, but I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Sure. Well, I don't know if you'll get a full answer in this book.
Don't tell me that. Oh, wow.
I don't remember or not. You might.
Wow. Okay, but, I'm just curious. All right.
But eventually. Yeah. We'll go back and talk about it later. In more detail. So Galadon and Raoden also discuss what they miss most about their former lives. Galadon mentions his home, and Raoden says, corresponding with the love of my life that I never met.
Yeah, he said, "Man, I wish I had them love notes."
Yeah. And Galadon's like, "Wait, you never met her?" And he's like, "No, but she wrote the most beautiful love letters." And like
they're poignant. Yeah, but they also talked. I mean,
they talked, via So,
and it kind of, and remind me, I thought I remembered that when they talk through Aeons, doesn't it kind of turn into their face?
It does.
So even though they didn't meet, they still could kind of see each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like a fuzzy projection kind of thing. Like
right.
Yeah. It always reminds me of like the mirror on the wall from like Snow White or whatever. Like it kind of comes in like a face just shows up and starts talking.
Right.
Like that's how I've always pictured it in my head. I mean, just because in my head canon, I'm not sure if that's what it actually looks like and what Brandon Sanderson pictures, but that's what I picture. So it is what it is until it becomes adapted into.
See, I would look it up. But I'm not allowed to because there's too many spoiler possibilities. So I can't even go on DeviantArt and like type it in and see what people came up with, like their crazy imagination. Oh, that's right. I can go back and do that for Mistborn though. Wait a minute.
Era 1.
That's right. I have to be careful because I could type in Mistborn and Era 2 stuff comes up. So.
And Scions are pretty small too. They're not that big.
I got the feeling they're about as big as a bowling ball. Am I?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
That's about. I mean, some around there. They're not huge. Yeah, every picture I see of them, it's not. I looked up pictures. It's just them with a symbol inside of it, not them when they're communicating.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Just like a little glowing orb with a symbol on it.
So I'm not missing out on too much then. What you're telling me? So,
you're not missing out too much.
All right. Because I would demand, if you saw a picture, you're like, "Oh, this is exactly what I'm thinking of." I'd be like, "I demand for you to send me that picture."
I mean, this is someone has this one that's share my screen real fast just so you can see what present, share screen. There we go, share. So,
okay,
something like that. Yeah. Which is,
I didn't think they would be that transparent. I figured they were just translucent.
Like this is someone's art, so it's not necessarily official.
Right. Of course,
it's the best looking depiction I think I saw of. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so something like that. And then Raoden kind of catches Galadon and maybe a little bit of a lie here because he starts to talk. The discussion leads to talking about the Forden invasion, and he's like, yeah, but you don't have to worry about that. You got Duladel. I was like, Duladel fell 6 months ago, and Galadon's like, what? And he's like, you said you've only been in 3 months, like.
Sorry, some moth just flew in front of my face.
He said, "You've only been here for and
that whole thing
he doesn't say it out loud. He's like, "You said you've only been here 3 months, but that happened 6 months ago." So
yeah,
like, how long have you been in Elantris?
But then he says that that whole thing kind of caught me off, threw me off a little bit because he was like, "Oh, the news got to us a little late." So even though it had fallen 6 months ago, we just got the news like a month ago.
Right.
But he had only been there 3 months. Right. So it's like, well, then he wasn't. The whole thing kind of was like, I was like, what kind of weird time trickery is going on here? So I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. And he asked also about, Galadin mourns about Jesker religion because the religion was outlawed. So we learned about this other religion, Jesker, and he says, well, there's always the Jesker mysteries. And he's like, that's a mockery of our faith.
Yeah, so Jesker is like gone now, basically obliterated. Everybody's transitioned over. And he's like, what about the mysteries? It's like, I hate Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I don't buy into that.
That's funny. Yeah, so it's a mockery of his faith, the mysteries.
Yeah, he was not about them mysteries.
Yeah.
Which is the weirdest thing, by the way. I was like, he said the word mysteries. I was like, mysteries?
I think it's like the occult part of so a lot of religions have like an occultist part.
Come up with a better name, people. Mysteries.
Mysteries.
The mysteries.
Yeah, but he mourns about the loss of that, and you also learn that Duladel is kind of like the buffer state between Forden and Erelon. So the fact that it fell, there's really nothing protecting Erelon anymore.
Now this is all coming back full circle because Hrathen's the one that actually helped create that demise, right?
Right.
So
yeah,
I mean,
and he feels horrible about it because
he feels bad about it. But I mean, but now we're hearing a lot more about the atrocity that was that revolution, and it's like, oh, I guess. I mean, he should feel bad about it.
And Galadin's so confused by it. He's like, why would they ever revolt? Like, we love the Republic. Like, we had to pick our own leaders and everything like that. It was fantastic. Like, no one disliked it there. It was a great system we had.
But now I guess they're happy they got a puppet monarchy set up.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And at this point, they return back to the chapel, and he's just amazed by how clean everything is right now.
Yeah,
it looks beautiful. Like it's gorge.
Marble is so shined up. It's basically like a mirror. Crazy.
Yeah.
And then of course all the intricacy on the walls.
Sure. All the little carvings and all sorts of stuff like that. And so KR has been working hard, removing all the grime and everything like that. And Raoden asks KR to clean the streets next, and offers more Elantrians to help him with that.
I like the fact he knows. He's like, hey, you need more purpose. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna make it seem like I'm just putting another burden on you. But the look in his eyes is like he's like not feeling like downtrodden. Like, oh no, more work. He's like, got it.
It distracts him from his hunger too. Keeps him busy.
Yeah.
And all that stuff like that. And and Yeah, Raoden Gallon didn't discuss about that. Their group's growing pretty fast because people are flocking to them. Everybody
Well,
coming
they
in,
doubled immediately. Well,
right?
more than doubled
With
immediately.
Karada's gang,
Right.
But now that they have Karada's gang, they're controlling the gates. Like none of the other gangs are getting new members now.
Yeah,
They're
and
all
plus
coming
there's
through.
other people who are just randomly just like roaming around who are like, well, I could roam around by myself and
Yeah,
eventually turn crazy, or I
yeah,
could have a little bit of, incentive to do something by going and joining these guys over here because they're not like
yeah,
intimidating and whatever. So
yeah,
good for them.
yeah. And Gallon is concerned about the food. Like, how are we going to feed all these people coming in? And Raiden's like, we don't have to eat. Like,
Right. Stop thinking about food.
yeah,
And that's actually, that's a real thing. I mean, that, people talk about when it comes to weight loss and
sure,
whatever, you know, it's really hard. I mean, I have that same problem where it's like, you just think about chewing something. It's like, I just need to chew.
right.
And your body's just conditioned to think I have to eat something.
Yeah.
But what if you get to the point where you just don't have to eat?
Right.
It would be hard to like re-trigger your brain to say you don't need it.
Right.
I mean, that would take just a monumental effort.
For sure.
So
I guess sometimes. I mean, I go back to like when I lived on a sailboat and I was doing my sailing. At sea we had very limited food and it was very rationed. Mm-hmm. So you get used to just not having a lot of food.
Right. But you're also busy though.
But you're very well, not really. Not at sea. It's boredom. Like you set your sails and you just don't do anything for hours and hours and hours.
Right.
You read
I just know for a fact that when I'm busy with something, like a major project or whatever,
when you're
the last thing I think about is eating.
Yeah, racing sailboats, you're really, really busy. Cruising, like long distance cruising, like we have an autopilot on the boat. Like, so we set the autopilot, so someone else, so the thing's driving it for us, set our sails, and then there's not much else to do. So there's no other electronics because you don't want to waste batteries. So read a lot, fish.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all you do all day. And sleep a lot. I slept a ton.
But see, you're in a near survival mode though too, because there's no
100%.
Walmart. There's no Walmart up the street.
There's no food. I mean, and you're rationing water and fresh water and
so you're rationing everything. So what happens then is it's not the same thing as like me sitting here in my home office and then knowing that the refrigerator's right there and preventing myself from going to go eat all the time.
It's completely. But it took me a while to get back to like eating to eat, if that made sense. Like when I moved back here after being gone for so long, like I didn't eat just to eat for the longest time because I had been conditioned so much because I was gone for a year or whatever. Because I only ate 2 meals a day when I was on the boat, and that was it.
Right.
Because that's all you got.
But then you were looking at food as a necessity, not food as comfort.
Right.
And that's a huge deal.
And you get, we had rationed water as well. So it's just, you had this much water and this much food. That's all you had.
Right.
And that's it.
There you go.
Because we calculate how much the water tank holds and how much we can consume before the next port. And and that's how much water you get. And sometimes it's probably, borderline dehydration the entire time because we didn't, on long crossings. I go back and think about it. Like sometimes we were only rationed like one, Nalgene bottle of water a day.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking like what, 48 ounces? Is that about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all the water you could have all day long. Like
that's 3 bottles of water. That's 3 bottles of Aquafina water, basically, right? So it's basically 1 bottle per meal.
But you're also on the equator in 100-degree temperature.
Now, see, there's the issue, though, is you're also losing a lot of water because, and it's just natural.
We stay in the shade as much as possible, and you don't.
It doesn't make a difference. You're outdoors. You're actually making movement and stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, you stay still, and you try not to move a lot. Like
you're on a boat. You'd be surprised. I remember I was talking to somebody about how people on boats, like even not a houseboat, but like just like a boat, and they're like, oh, it's crazy how like my Apple Watch registered how many calories I burned during the course of a day. And it was a lot more. And I really wasn't feeling like I was doing much. And I was like, people don't pay attention to those micro movements that you do
You're
constantly
doing this all day long.
It's all day long. See, there's a thing. It's all day long.
And all night long. You're sleeping.
You're sleeping and you're doing it. You're just
because you're rolling through waves.
So imagine you're doing that 24 hours, just like little micro movements. Yeah, you burn calories.
Oh,
so,
yeah. It takes the weight right off of you.
Absolutely.
But anyway, fun times. So they talk also about the crops and things like that. He's like, we don't have a big crop this year, but we can probably go to the Palace Gardens. I hear they're really large, and we can build a bigger crop, next year. This is just a start.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a little small pound, and then it's like, Galadin's the pessimist. Like, as soon as the shoots come up, they're just going to eat it all. It's like, no, I don't think so. I think
now that whole scene, I was waiting for Galadin to mess up when he was like, "Hey, inspect these corn kernels."
Yeah,
I was waiting for it to be like, "Yeah, it looks good to me," and him be like, "Ha! It's actually squash."
Gotcha. Yeah,
gotcha, bitch. I was waiting for it, but he was actually being legit. He was like, "Hey, I really want you to inspect them," and he did inspect it, and it sounded like he really knew his stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, so if he is lying,
he's doing a good job of it.
He's still doing a good job. He's actually." He talked about building his own house and stuff, and I'm like,
the best lies are half truths.
That's true, and I mean that's been said numerous times.
Yeah,
that if you really want to be a good liar, take something you already know to be true and just put like a little spin on it. Don't be like, I was an astronaut.
Right,
doesn't work.
Right.
So.
But if you just tweak the times a little bit.
Just a little bit. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's why I'm always good at the game like two truths and a lie, because I'll take something that's true and I'll just tweak it a little bit. Like, because I'll get really specific with my truths. So in my lie, I have a really specific thing, and I'll just change like the month. Like, I did this on August of 2020, and it's like, that was in September. Like,
okay, but now you're doing an actually. Actually, it wasn't in August. It was actually.
It was a lie.
It was the 22nd of July. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I win.
It's one of my favorite YouTube series. Actually, is a game show, and it's like all it does is actually. It's like you got to find a little mistruth in the statement they come up with. Yeah. Oh, they should do it on this series, the Cosmere.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll write them about that because there's too many fans. I mean, people would love it. So
it would. It would be fun. So also we learned that what's his name? Aiden's forces are planning an attack, and Dash and a couple of the Karatas followers are like, "No, we're gonna preemptive strike," and. The crowd is trying to convince him not to. It's like, no, we have to. We have to go and attack him now. Like,
okay, now remind me, why did Aiden want to come at them? What was
he's taking all the food and all the followers. Everyone coming in. That's the way they.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They're taking all the new food. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, that's right. All the new food. So
yeah. He's like, I need them Triscuits.
Yeah, and so they're planning to attack because they're like, we can't have this anymore.
I forgot about that piece. Yes.
And they're worried because he has a bigger force, but they're like, well, we have weapons. They don't. So
yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things, and so Dash ends up. And
Dash is about protect the kids. He's like, I'm UNICEF. It's all about children.
So Dash runs off to go attack, and Raoden goes as well to accompany the assault and try to manage and convince both groups to stand down. And Raoden sneaks in first and realizes it's a trap. It's a trap. So
where's your gif on that? The Admiral Akbar.
I've talked about it so many times.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Yeah, but it is, and a couple of men had already stepped in and they're into the. I guess it was a chapel, or no, it was a university. The library.
It's university, right? Library. There's like a structure next to the university,
and the roof's rigged to collapse.
Yep.
And like basically, he sees it, calls them out. They stop in their tracks. Not everyone's going to die if they pull the trigger, but Aiden's right there with an axe, getting ready to throw down the sculpt, and then
right. He's gonna like cut the actual. Yeah. Is it like something whatever the structure is? A rope that's holding up the wall.
Yeah, holding the wall. Yeah. Yeah, and Raoden, yells out his name. He's like, "Stop,
Hammer time."
hammer time. And calls out his name. The guy sits there and, like, mid swing, just stops. He goes, "What did you call me?" He's like, "I know who you are. You're
Right.
not up there, and you're a sculptor." He's like, "That person doesn't exist. I am a Baron of Elantris." And he's like, he's like, "You're gonna destroy this place? You of all people appreciate the beauty of it." And he's like, "Go
Yeah, the
wipe
whole
away the
time
slime."
he's like sitting there like wax on, wax off, like cleaning this table.
Yeah. And sees all the intricate carvings and the sculpturing, and and the artist of him, comes out, and he's like, "I was about to destroy," and then it breaks down. Like,
Man.
Speaking to the guy's emotions and what he loves. I mean, because he was a great sculptor. Of course, he loves that art and can appreciate it, of all people.
Right.
And everybody calls him a madman, and Raoden's like, yeah, he is kind of mad, but at the same time, there's some humanity still left in there.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, convinces him to, like, hey, stop what you're doing.
What was his real name? Give him a T.
His real name was Tan.
There you go. Thank you.
Taeon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to commit these names to memory because I know it's going to come up later. So yeah.
And Raoden then says, hey, there's freedom in Elantris. You guys don't have to be slaves to this whole thing. Like, we don't have physical needs anymore. Like, we can do whatever we want, and we don't have to live in misery. Like,
the speech about the hunger thing was a little bit.
Yeah,
that was a little bit corny. I'm gonna just say it right now. The speech it was corny. It was like, everything we do is about the hunger, and I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I think people go back to their base primal.
They do. I mean, using that logic, then clothing, hunger, and shelter. Sure, I get that.
But appeals to the higher calling, and that you have the freedom to focus on your talents here. And Aiden or Taeon agrees eventually. Tells his men to stand down, and that Raiden's right, and they agree to join them. So Raiden's just recruited, like, everyone.
Yeah. Ash throwing his sword down was, I was like, I don't think. I mean, Ash, I wasn't really buying Ash going in.
You're talking Dash.
I keep saying Ash. Sorry, but Dash, I wasn't buying his whole, like, I'm gonna go in here, like, bum rush and whatever, and save the Cheerin and what. I mean, because this seems like a pretty lawless place.
Yeah.
Why would he believe anything at this rate? Because if he wasn't going to listen to them on their logic before they left, why would he change his feelings once he got there in the presence of these guys all in the same room essentially, and be like, oh, now I'm buying in? It's like, I'm not in it. So we'll see. You'll see.
Yeah. And they agree to join. So that's pretty much how we end this chapter, with Raoden uniting all Elantris, trying to do the mega
bringing
thing.
Over another gang, basically.
Yeah, mega Elantris.
Yeah, so he's got two. He was building his minor gang, then he built out. He brought in gang number 2. Now he's bringing in gang number 3. Yeah,
there's still another gang.
Right, that's right, because he was. I considered him the 4th gang leader.
Yeah,
Raoden. Yeah. So now he's got 3 of them.
Yeah,
and then he's just got one more gang left. But
right,
I think at this point in time, you have to see. They're going to have to see the fruits of their efforts,
right,
to turn them over, because now they're going to be like, oh, we're the scrappy guys who never just got like sucked into all this whatever.
Right.
I'm also wondering how much longer is it going to go before everyone is just like, oh yeah, this guy Raoden, he's royalty. whatever. Somebody's gonna see something.
We don't want to follow him. He's royalty.
Because I mean, he's given away too much stuff about.
Yeah.
He just knows things, and it's the same way that the lady
Karada.
I can't want to say Carlotta, and I know it's not right. But the same way that she kind of picked up on things,
right,
and it clicked. The more people he has around him, the more possibility of it clicking for other people, and they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, that dude, he's the royalty dude."
Right.
So I feel like that's what's going to, go down.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see that happen.
Yeah. And yeah, any other thoughts as far as for these chapters or what's going to happen next? Or
I can't say. Okay, well, I feel like the reconnection between Serene and Raoden is going to happen then sooner than I thought. I think it's going to happen sooner versus later, which I really thought that was going to be like one of the last chapters, but here we're in chapter 16, and I feel like it's just like their trajectories are getting closer and closer.
Okay.
So I don't think that's going to get delayed too long.
And then Hrathen, do you think when's that going to intersect with Raoden and everything Raiden's doing versus what Hrathen's trying to turn everyone against the Elantrians to?
So what I think is going to happen is I think that the person who's going to get captured, man, it's got to be
Karada.
Karada, thank you.
Yeah.
I think she's going to try and make another attempt.
Sure.
But she's already done it numerous times, and now she has a proven
way to get out.
Yeah. I think she's going to get captured, and because she knows who Raoden is, she's going to give away, she's going to give the ghost, and that's going to just lead to all kinds of issues for them in general. Right. And then there's going to be this war, and it's going to be they're going to go in, try to get him because other people are going to be, because now the people are going to be around it because they're like, oh, he's still alive. We're going to go get him. And they've got we got to kill him. Yeah. Kill him so that way he doesn't instill hope into the people or something like that.
Yeah.
So this is my long range speculation on what's going to happen in the book, but I could be completely wrong. We'll see. But I'm really curious about the Aeons though, about what happens with them, because I'm what's the recovery for that? Do I think Elantris can be recovered? Sure. Right now it's just slime. I don't know where the slime came from though, so I don't really.
I just saw the mouth in your camera. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's like a mosquito thing or something, and it's really annoying me because I don't have off in here. Watch, this thing's gonna sit on my leg and suck out all my blood.
That's fun. Yeah. So, favorite character?
Ooh, man, I keep forgetting to pre-choose my person. Wow. Okay. KR is the one that did the cleaning, right?
Yeah.
KR.
All right.
There he is. KR, man, this guy, he's I'm the janitor supreme. This guy basically has a gilded mop.
Yeah.
So he's hey, man, I'll clean your stuff for you. And he's out here I'll make it better for the peoples.
Yeah.
So I like it. That's and good. Then the fact that he's he's I don't even feel hungry anymore. And I just doing what I do. And I'm passionate about it. And I mean, this guy is you want to talk about the person who's going to turn Elantris around. It's him.
Yeah. It's,
because it's got the glory is still there. You just got to uncover it. Right.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I guess if I had to choose one, I'll pick Galadin again, just because I always pick Galadin.
Yeah. I mean, Galadin's interesting, though. He's an interesting character. So
Kolo.
Suli, what are you talking about? Oh my goodness. Every time I listen to his accent in the audiobook, I'm oh, is it weird? Is it okay? I don't know. I'm
I don't know how I feel about this. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm I need someone else to bless it. Yeah. Someone from the Latino community needs to come through and bless it, and then I'll feel okay with it. Until then, I'm
It's a fictional world.
I caught it. I literally caught it in midair. He just slammed it and just bam, got it.
Nice.
Got the Mr. Miyagi skills.
There you go. Now do it with chopsticks.
Can I just pick it up the dead body?
Yeah.
Look what I did.
Good deal. Well, next week we'll do 3 chapters again. 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
I think that's the last time we'll do 3 chapters. Yeah, then we'll start ramping up.
Oh,
okay. It'll be like 4 chapters, 5 chapters. So we start,
longer readings, or is just because the
no, just chapters are shorter.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So we'll start to do more. So this is the last 3 chapter reading before we start the ramp up. Yeah. So it'll be fun. Hopefully Will join us. I know he has another busy week ahead of him next week. Because I think they're doing a baby shower this weekend and next weekend. So it's
wow.
Yeah.
Must be nice to have friends.
I know. It's
how dare he have friends?
How dare he? Well, I think he's doing one this weekend up in Baltimore, and the one next week is down this way.
Oh, with wait, because where is his wife's family from?
Baltimore area.
Right. So his family's here.
So here, yeah.
So it makes sense that he would have another one here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope that now that you're telling us that, I mean, I hope maybe we can try to catch up, do something.
Yeah.
At least for
yeah, maybe. I mean, it's Father's Day on Sunday, so I
know. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting.
And then Saturday, I'm going to a concert that night.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm reliving my high school. I'm going to a Dave Matthews Band concert, which I haven't been to since I was in high school.
Okay. So, do you think?
I saw a video clip someone posted like at a Dave show for the first time in 15 years. It was gonna be me. It was the first time like 15 years going to a Dave show and looking around and seeing like old people. And you're like, why are all the fans so old? And you're like, oh crap, I'm old.
Yeah, man. That's how it works. There's a video right
old
now.
People listening to this.
There's a video out right now, and it's of Method Man and Redman trying to hype up the crowd, and the crowd is not feeling it. And I'm like, "Who's Method Man and Redman? Is it? Oh, that's right, we're all old.
Old, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Oh no.
You hang your head low. You're, I guess they didn't come to bring the pain. Oh
no. No. Maybe came to bring the pain relievers.
Yes, Alex.
Some Bengay for their arthritis. Anyway,
I love it. Well done. I'm gonna laugh about that one for a while. Thank you, Al.
You're
very
welcome.
Good.
Anyways, how you found us at thecosmireads.com. Find links to our for our website, to our social media, Patreon, Discord, merchandise, all that cool stuff. Feel free to subscribe, all those things too. Yeah, be a lot cool if you did, man. Helps the algorithms, helps get it out there. And yeah, so without further ado, I think that's about it for this week. So see y'all next time.
Thank you for watching the Cosmere Reads.
Gosh dang, gosh, stay fresh. Gosh dang, gosh, stay fresh.